Okay, just waiting for it to go onto your screen. Cool. So we've spent the last couple of lessons just working through when they've actually given us the numbers, so we are able to resolve vertically and horizontally. When we resolve horizontally, there is no acceleration. When we resolve vertically, we know the velocity is 0 at the maximum height, and we know obviously we're fighting against gravity, so our acceleration is minus g, and also we know the displacement vertically is 0 as the ball hits the ground again. Now, as we move forward to 6.4, this is going to look incredibly complicated when we get on to the third page, this slide here. You suddenly, you can't quite see it yet, I'll just wait for it to click through, yeah, there. You suddenly see all these formulae here, and you think, oh my God, what on earth's going on here? But I think it's really important they make the points, the point they make on the right-hand side. Don't try and memorize these, all right? Just work through the techniques that you've been using during 6.3. So just carry on working through the techniques you've just done for the last couple of lessons. And okay, you don't know some of the information and you're going to be using letters, but the maths behind it is exactly the same. So don't get psyched out by the fact we suddenly get all these weird and wonderful formulae. They are still just applying the same basic points that I made a minute ago. So back to the opening slide. Okay, now you'll see that example 10 and example 11, in the past I've got people to copy these out in advance, but as it turns out, they're question 3A and 3B in the exercise itself. So I think in a way, we're better just, rather than working through the examples, because example 10, you will be working through as you do question 3A and 3B. And I think example 11 also crops up in various bits and parts. Yes, so yeah, yes, they do crop up. So yes, and that one there, the equation of the trajectory, that's question 6A when you do it, and that's the example 11. So in short, I don't really want us to go through example 10A and 10B, 10A, 10B, and example 11 now. I think you're better off coming across them when you go and do questions 3 and 6 in the exercise, please. So what I want us to do is just to work through exercise 6D. I'm scheduling this to be 2 lessons. It's not as long as the previous exercise, so it may be that some of you get it finished and can move on to the mixed exercise tomorrow. But we'll cross that bridge, and then what we'll do at the end of Thursday's lesson, we'll reflect on whether you feel you need to have another lessons time on it, or whether you feel we've covered enough and we can move on. Just to remind you, I will set the assignment then, but I'll give you plenty of time to do it. There's no huge rush for you to get it into me, because it's not going to stop me moving on to the next chapter. So that's all the talking I really wanted to do. I'm just going to stop the recording, and then once the recording stops, feel free to have your cameras on if you want, or to obviously feel free to ask me to move on to any particular